Hello, hello, hello. I am just to see if I can see us on my phone so I can tell if anybody comes on and makes a comment here. So, welcome to today's live. And I'm actually going to try and do this for several Wednesdays at the same time. I may be switching it to 9 o'clock. I want to see what works best for everyone. And I also want to thank you if you participated in the survey. And you all are welcome to listen to this. I appreciate you because I really think it helps everyone to know. And I know what a big topic this is that we're going to be talking about, peace, because ultimately we all want this. And so I know it's not just in this group because I work with clients all the time and I see it in leadership groups that I join, very successful people. And peace is something that we really have to work on. And there are several different avenues that you can get it. And I really believe you have to find what's best for you and and do several things to get you there. And it's about how you are acting as well within and the things that you do, how you trust yourself and how you just go about your everyday and the the response that you have to the things that happen. So, and the thing is, we're always seeking joy and we're always seeking something that's going to make us feel good inside. And I know that this can be a struggle too, finding peace. And so, again, it's a matter of adjusting the tools that you learn. And it's also really about being consistent too, because some people will just take the tools and then they may do them once in a while. And if you're not doing them consistently, because I know every morning I have to get my mind right. It doesn't just happen. I mean, and there are many ways that you can do that. A lot of people get right up and get active, and then we'll have quiet time, and we'll talk about that. I like to I like to reflect before I get up. So confidence, I want to say, plays a big role in this too. And that's why I'm so big on confidence, because when you build your confidence within you, then it naturally leads you to a sense of peace because there's so much around confidence. And then when you're at peace, you can also, when you find peace and when you have peace, it's going to unlock confidence. So, some of the things that come up are your self talk. And we all do this. We all, something may not be going right. And then sometimes we tend to blame ourselves. We think we're not good enough, or then we think, I don't deserve it. And we may say when we're doing something that it's never worked before. So why should it work now? And why would it work for me? And it's too hard. These are all things that are just excuses. They're really lies that we tell ourselves because we're capable of anything. And so we go we go to the past is what happens, and we start to focus on things that happened to us. And here's the thing, and this is why I like to talk about and always encourage with my clients having purpose and just staying aligned with with who you are and doing what your soul wants, because otherwise we can stay when we're not and we're unhappy, we can stay in our old patterns. And I go more into this on my webinar. If you haven't listened to that, we keep running these old patterns in our brains that happen to us, and sometimes we don't even know it. And we do it until we learn from them. And then we can move on. And I know I'm simplifying this. And it can be complex because sometimes you don't even know what those are. And then here's the thing, we're in just such a crazy world, and it's hard because we've got so many distractions and stimulation that take us away from focusing on who we really are. And so we become disconnected. And this is the biggest thing. We become disconnected with who we are at our soul. We become disconnected to God, the universe. And when this happens, these old tapes run in our head from what we learned a long time ago. And then anything that seems to come along that happens to us can really get blown out of proportion and just seem monumental. And we're human. That's what happens. So mindfulness is really important. Being mindful and reflecting and finding quiet time. Because if you can connect to your soul, and I know it's easier said than done, and because this is where inner peace comes from. And when you can have inner peace, it's going to help you with so many different things, with clarity and resilience. Peace is something that they did a study on monks, and they found that this is the key for longevity, and it's the key for resiliency, because not everything goes our way. Never has, never will. I know that when I had this flood here, and we all have different things and everything is relative, that was pretty big for me. And thank goodness that I had that peace within me, that I knew. Here's the thing, when you have that peace, you know everything's going to work out. Now, sometimes you still go to that place where, oh, I don't know, and you start doubting and all those things. When you really know, then everything happens so much easier. You stay in the flow. And I know that we will be less reactive to things, to external stresses, and it's just a calmness that we have about ourselves. So, and it's not about avoiding conflict and stress, because let's face it, we're never going to do that, right? we live in this world that we're always going to have that. And so it's about creating within us a sense of stability and harmony that's going to anchor us. So and just keeping peace during chaotic times. So let's talk about letting go of what you can't control. And that's a big one, because that's a big stressor, because we try to do so much. And and can anyone relate to me on this? Let me know in the comments. That and here's the thing, as women, we can do a lot. We were built that way. We were made to multitask, and it's very difficult for us not to. And if you've got a family, if you've got kids, or whatever, just in life, working and just juggling all the different things, sometimes we do it all. I know that happened to me. And we're very, very capable of that. And men are not, believe it or not. They are made differently, and they do not have the capacity to multitask the way we do. Sure, there could be some exceptions, but they don't. And here's another fun fact: we have more gray matter. This is a fact. We have more gray matter than men. Woohoo! So, yeah, we've got to use our feminine power, ladies. We've got to use our feminine intuition. That's what we have. That's for another talk, though. And so we want to focus on what we can control. Now, we can control our thoughts. I know it's difficult. Our actions and our reactions. And so when we do this, it's going to free up mental space in our heads. And again, it's going to allow the flow to come in. And when we can let go of things that, when you know you've done everything that you can do and there's nothing left, and yet you still struggle and think that it's not going to work out, you're not good enough, you start again going into those same mental patterns, old patterns, then it's just time to let that control go. And that's where getting deeper with yourself, getting that connection to God, let it go. Let God have it. Let it go to the universe. Let it go. Just let it pass through you, those feelings. Now, I know that too is something that a lot of people have a hard time with. What you want to do, here's something that you can do, is just be the observer of whatever's going on. Be the observer. Now, you have to get quiet to do that. Pretend you're a third party looking in at the picture of what's happening. And ask yourself if you've done everything. Ask yourself if there's any more that you can do. And it's okay to feel emotions. We have to. Otherwise, if we don't feel the emotions that we have, they can fester inside of us, and we suppress them, and then it comes up at a later time. So we want to acknowledge what we're going through, acknowledge that, and it's okay, and say, I see you. I see that anger. And now is it time to get rid of it? And just ask yourself, let it move through your body. because we're energy and we're always moving, we're always vibrating. I do a lot of this in my program. We're always, we're always, everything's a vibration. And if we can move that through, then, or just say, just release it, simply say, okay, put it on the back burner. If you're doing something, I had a client, for example, who she was divorced and she wasn't getting an alimony check. And so she was just beside herself. And I understand it. And she had done everything and literally called him. And I said, has he always paid? So that's something you want to do is you want to look at the evidence of the past, of a pattern that's happened and or something that's happened to you. Have you been okay in a situation? And then when you've done it all, then just let it go. And then we bring in, which I'm going to talk about on another day, we're going to bring in the power of gratitude. So simply just try and release that. So make a list. Make a list of things that you're holding on to that you could possibly let go of. Now, another thing that's really big is forgiveness. When you have unforgiveness, then that person or that thing is controlling you. And you can create a lot of resentment and anger, frustration, and all kinds of things. And so you're not going to truly have peace unless you've forgiven. So this is another really important thing. So this is what you can do towards, if you have any questions, this is what you can do towards letting go of control that you have for things. So this is just one piece. And I want to work on this. I want you to all work on this week. And I'd love to find out if, let's see, close applications. Okay. I'm not sure. I just said that I'm hoping you can see this because it said that I'm experiencing some different issues here, but I think you can. So this week, write down what you can let go of and see if you can just release it or just say, okay, you know what? This is more important. Set your priorities and say this is more important. And then try to do a little mindfulness around it. So maybe with a meditation you could practice and 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 you could do it during, take some nice deep breaths. That always helps. That I always encourage that. And that in itself will calm you down. And then listen to a little something, and just to get you in that space of where you're connected. Or if you're not, that's okay too. You can't really do this wrong. And so just make your list when you're in a quiet place and just let go and see what happens. Let me know. And again, if you have anything on here that you want to ask about that, please do. And if I can help you with that, I definitely will. I can answer anything on here. I want to bring you a little bit more about peace. I hope this has been helpful. Next week, I want to talk about improving relationships and setting or establishing healthy boundaries. And that's another thing that is going to improve your peace. So it's just not one thing. We want to become whole. We whole. We as and so it really takes all areas for us to do that and to have peace in those areas. So I'd actually like at some point, I may do something if you're interested in letting go a small class, doing this, a group class. I know some of you have had asked about group classes. So I may do something like that. Let me know if you'd be interested. So, hope this again has brought you a little bit of peace today. And you go out and have a fabulous day. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.